Good morning, Pete.
Man, I see you smile, man. It makes me smile, you know, and that's a wonderful thing, man. And then when I look into your home from here in Central Park, I see the firewood over there. I'm like, man, we're gonna have some great times this year in Sedona when the snow comes.
Man, I hope we have some great snow so we can use this place as like the hopping off spot for skiing and flag. I think that'd be great.
Oh, it'd be fantastic, man. And the weather, man, we've had here in the valley. I know some other places have had different weather, but we've had some nice rain, man, here. And I know we needed it, and there was some concern about it, but hopefully that's going to really help the environment here.
That's great. I'm glad to hear it. Same up here. We're really happy. We've had a really full monsoon this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, we've had a little bit of that too. So this one, Rick, is a little quote here that I came up with. Yeah, I like to give the other authors credit, so I don't want to quote this. Someone's like, "Who said that?" Like he's plagiarizing. This is peace is not simply the absence of conflict. It's more than that. It's an alive sense of joy. Can you speak about that, Rick?
I would rather start with you. I'd like to hear what you have to say about why did that quote appeal to you? Why was that something that resonated?
The reason it resonated with me, man, because before I started on this practice in this path, I just thought peace was something that was something that was way out there, that was almost unattainable, because I was looking at it based on what external circumstances or events could deliver. Like, so for example, if there was no war in places, then that would mean peace. Or if there was, the way that we treated each other, as human beings, if there was no strife and conflict or discrimination or abusive acts, then that would mean peace. So my definition before was it was all conditional and dependent on what was going outside of me.
Great word,
Thank
conditional.
you. And what's happened now is that it's something that's cultivated internally that begins with my practice. And now I feel peace. I can experience peace in any situation as long as I'm not identified with my egoic thoughts of complaining and making an enemy of people and life situations. And I also thought that it just, if I could experience peace in external situations were set up to bring that about, that was the end of it. Like that was the end of it. But no, it was just the beginning.
That's right.
Because it with peace, I'm able to experience joy. And I'm experiencing so much joy. I know a lot of people, if you read the headlines, and you don't even have to read the headlines, you just watch and observe people without judgment about how they're feeling about the state of things right now. And you would think that there's no joy, but I'm experiencing joy every single day. Right outside the studio, man, there's this really beautiful golden doodle named and this lovely couple. They walk together every morning down to the coffee shop and they pass the studio. And I've had opportunity to say good morning to them on quite a few occasions. And they're just the kindest people. And as they walk by, and I've had this fear of dogs when I was a little kid, that because of my choice not to have this narrative control my life, am comfortable petting dogs and whatnot, which is something I was like, that will never happen. But they walk by and I just love the intentionality of their relationship and how when they're together, they're just smiling, man, and they're just happy. And you can just tell that they, at least when I'm seeing them, and I've heard their conversations a little bit as they pass, and I don't hear any complaining about like their day or their life or their work or whatever. I mean, in that moment, they're with each other on that walk, from what I see. And they have this little golden doodle. And every time they walk by, man, because I'm peaceful inside, I just experience so much joy. And guess what the dog's name is, Rick?
Joy.
Yes, the dog's name is Joy. The dog's name is Joy.
I knew it.
You know it, man. And every time I see it, and I'm like, that speaks volumes, man,
Yeah.
about what they're trying to, to have in their home. It speaks volumes, man.
Yeah.
And here I was going to get myself an English bulldog one day and name him Thor. I'm rethinking that, Rick. I'm rethinking it.
Oh man, that's Keith number one. That's Keith 1.0.
That's Keith 1.0, man. I gotta come up with a different name, man. So man, it's really, man, about peace being more than that. Peace is not my peace is not conditional, and dependent on external circumstances or situations. It is really made possible by my commitment to my practice and being my best and clearing out the mind clutter and chatter so I can see, what's really going on. And for me, that's the humanity in the next human being, regardless of what their views are or how they look physically, or what they've done in the past. And it is also not dependent on what's happening with life in the world. It's something that I've made a choice that I'm going to work on being peaceful no matter what. Mm-hmm. And with that, I get to experience joy every single day.
And with that, you know that people love to be around you because of that reflection that you're sending back to them of nothing but being in the moment and enjoying their presence and having a great life and feeling light and hopeful and grateful, all of those positive emotions that otherwise we don't get if we're not doing something to make sure that we don't get bogged down by external circumstances. And I think that's a wonderful story, the couple with the dog named Joy. I think that's a wonderful story because that little snippet of life, that little bit of happening for 3-5 minutes in the morning or less, that's what life really is. If you can stitch together enough of those things. It's not about the 11 o'clock news. It's not about the dissension and the civil strife and the incivility that we have now in our political culture. People are still people, and we still crave this interaction that is altruistic and kind, and it's there. But if you're full of judgment and you're full of a way of looking at the world that makes it hostile, you never slow down enough or have enough love or interest in meeting that couple or petting that dog or experiencing that kind of joy that you did in that moment. Our lives are basically nothing more than what we think about most of the time. Mm. And so if we're always caught up in the news and conflict and all of the rest, you'll never have any peace because you'll never get to the point where you'll recognize the joy. You're too full of hate or worry or anxiety. I think that one of the things that we have to guard against, this was me to a T, the idea that I can't be happy until certain things happen. Mm-hmm. So you go through your whole life, I won't be happy until I leave my parents' house. Boy, my parents are a pain in the neck. I need to be on my own. Then you get your own place. I won't be happy until I get married. Then you get married, and then I won't be happy till I get divorced. There's always another contingency, right? And so you're deferring all of this. What you've illustrated with the doodle example, the little dog and the couple, is that not only is life made up of precious moments that you have to be available to, you have to have an opening for that to occur. And if you're full of something that's judging, you're not going to be able to do that. And then the other thing that I think is important is that is really your life. What you indicated. You probably have 50 of those things that happen every day to you, and you don't even think of them because that is your life, right?
Yeah,
I think it's a beautiful story, and I you can just tell by looking at you, Keith, that that's something that runs you, that's important, and that all of us would like to have in our hearts as well.
Oh, Rick, thank you. You're way too kind, man. But yeah, I have so many of those a day. Like I go through, and I just, at the end of the day, man, I'm just smiling. I'm like, how rich and full this day was. Like, I mean, and the old me would be like, what are you talking about? Like, we got to wear masks at work all over the place again. And I'm just like, I don't remember. I mean, uh, I put the mask on and then like let the joy continue. Like,
That's right. That's right.
that's it. I mean, like it's all of it. It's all the time, and I'm just not going to waste another moment. I just will not waste another moment. As I do other stuff and am engaged in an activity, it's really about like how can I experience more joy in this moment and doing the hard work. I will experience joy while doing the hard work. Like I will. It's possible, and I have experienced a life of it. My life is so rich, Rick. I mean,
Mm.
man, the people that I get to be around, this small little ToBeRe community that we have, it's just filled with the most amazing people, and past and present. And at Mayo, dude, don't even get me started about like how wonderful it is at Mayo. Wow, man. I hear some, of my colleagues and, they're complaining about this and that. And without judging, man, I just smile because I'm like, that's one way to see it. Like
Yeah.
what I see is just goodness, man. Like, oh, I mean, but it's like you said, my whole life is just filled with these amazing people at Mayo. I just, earlier this week, I had an opportunity to meet another large group of people that are all committed to caring for our community. And they could not have been kinder to me. They could not have been kinder. And, I walk into the grocery store, I walk wherever, kindness everywhere.
Yeah.
Rick,
Yeah.
I did not see it before.
Well, and you're never going to see it on television. If how you judge the world is what you see on TV or what you read in the paper, you're looking in the wrong place. You look next door, take your garbage out and talk to your neighbor. That's really
There you go, man. And I know I talked about it in the I think one of the other podcasts, but it's just that quote that you share with me, you and Brian Chong shared with me the other day that I thought was just so good. So I'm going to finish up my little riff with this, and then if you want to share just a few more things as we end, I would love that. And so this was written by a guy that you and Brian shared with, and I think this is what you said about you won't read about this or see this on the 12 o'clock news or the 6 o'clock news, but you can create this in your own life and you can help create it for others. And the guy starts to write, sometimes I just wanted to stop. Talk of COVID, protesting, brutality. I lose my way. I could become convinced that this new normal, quote unquote, is real life.
Mm.
Then I meet an 87-year-old who talks of living through polio, area,
that's right.
protests, and yet is still enchanted with life. He seemed surprised when I said that 2020 must be especially challenging for him. No, he said slowly, looking me straight in the eyes. I learned a long time ago not to see the world through the printed headlines. I see the world through the people that surround me. I see the world with the realization that we love big. Therefore, I just choose to write my own headlines. Husband loves wife today. Family drops everything to come to grandma's bedside. He patted my hand. Old man makes new friend. His words collide with my worries, freeing them from the tether I had been holding tight. They float away. I'm left with a renewed spirit and a new way to write my own headlines. And Rick, every single day, the practice allows you to write a new headline. What? What?
Yeah, you're right, Keith. That's a beautiful thought, and I can't add anything more to that. You're a walking example of that. Anyone who's met you or spends 5 minutes with you knows it and feels enriched by it. So keep spreading yourself around, man. We'll change the world.
Let's do it, Rick. Let's do it. I love you, man.
I love you, buddy. Adios.